All right. What is up? We're back. It's Thursday. I'm looking a little dark again. So we're going to light this up a little bit. Might need to turn my other lights up too. How are you guys doing? What's up? Welcome in. We are going to be working on some new music to you guys, but existing music for what I've been working on. Let's find like a fun color scheme. Whoops. Beach, clouds, ocean. Ocean's kind of fun. Let's turn the brightness like all the way up. And then why am I so dark? All right, there we go. A little bit better. Now you can see me a little more clearly. Okay, so here's what's going on. So I did a poll on my Instagram, per usual, because I wasn't quite sure what you guys wanted to see me work on today. So, posting the Instagram and all of my other socials link in the chat here. So if you're ever interested, you can go in there and see what's going on. Amanda, welcome in. It's good to have you in here. So yeah, poll went out. Only a couple people voted in it, but that's okay because it doesn't matter. I just like to have a general sense of what you guys want to see me work on. So the poll ended up being to work on existing music. So the next couple weeks are going to be a little weird. Obviously, we got holidays and stuff coming up. So the timeline is going to essentially be, today I'm working on kind of like a flip of a song that I really like, and I'll kind of explain that a little bit later. But I started working on it last week. Figured I'd keep working on it on stream and just kind of like showcase that process with you guys. Next week, I should be getting in a really cool piece of hardware that I'm excited to do a live stream of, because we can utilize this view almost, I think, for the whole thing, which would be cool. Basically, it's a piece of equipment that's not dissimilar to this, but it's all these kind of pads, and then I can just make music exclusively from that device. So the reason I'm excited about that is I don't have to bring like a laptop or anything with me anywhere. I can literally just bring that standalone piece of hardware. And then if I'm out in like a park or if I'm traveling or whatever, I could just bring that and make music entirely on that and then bounce everything from that back to my computer and keep working on it. So super fun piece of tech. So I get that next week, hopefully, and then maybe we can do a live stream where I'm just sitting here, just doing my thing, messing with it, making music. Hey, welcome in. So, and then after that, so let's see, where does that put us? So that's next week. The week after that is the week before Thanksgiving. So what will probably happen on the 21st, I think I will start my first stream of working on like a full song. So the idea is I'll take like the next 2 months probably, or like month and a half in this case, and just make like a full song on stream, and we'll kind of take it slow. We'll do our own thing. We'll go kind of like, point by point, and then we'll just do that. And then probably come January, I'll be able to start a new song, and then we'll do that for like every kind of quarter. We'll do like 1 to 2 songs. So hopefully that would equal like 4 to 6 songs a year, just done entirely on stream from my once a week hour-long stream sessions. So I think it'd be kind of fun. Like, we've kind of done that in the past before. I know I've been a little chaotic with like, oh, I'm working on this, oh, I'm working on that, whatever. But I think it'd be really fun to have some kind of like chronicle journey of like, here's a song I'm working on. You guys get to see the whole process on live stream, and then I put it out once it's done. You can hear it, you can relive it, you can be like, hey, I was there when he made this on stream and I saw the entire process and whatever. So that's kind of my thought process for the next kind of little bit. Obviously that week of Thanksgiving, I won't be streaming on Thanksgiving Day. I'll probably stream like on the Monday of that week. And then back to normal after that. And then we'll figure out Christmas when we get to it. But with that being said, let's jump into some music. So what I'm working on today is called a flip. Yeah, no, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's kind of crazy how fast time's going. But yeah, we're getting there. Okay. So I'm working on what's called a flip or like a bootleg, or basically the idea is when you have a piece of music that you really like, but you like the majority of it, but you want to change like a small piece of it, usually in electronic music, it's going to be the drop, then you would do like a flip or a bootleg. So what happened was a week or two ago, this artist I really like, Demo Tapes, came out with a song called Find You. I'm going to play you kind of the initial snippet here, and hopefully the volume's okay. I'll kind of talk over it, but I love this song. It's great. I'm a huge fan. But I think the drop could be way more fun and dancey and upbeat than it is. So I thought it'd be really fun to like mess with it, and then after we listen to it, I'll kind of show you what I did. So like this part I love, the verse, this kind of breakdown thing. The drop is really cool and I really like it, but I thought it'd be fun to go in a different direction, because it kind of goes like a little more chill, you know. Like I think this could be like a really fun, like dancey, upbeat, vibrant track, and they went in a really cool creative direction, but not exactly what I would do with it. So the cool thing about FL Studio here is they have this stem separator. So I can, and I did that for this. So these are the drums from the track. This is the bass. This is the instruments. And then like we've got like the vocals here. I would climb every mountain just to find you. And it does this all inside of FL Studio, which is really cool. Kind of crazy that they have this technology to do this, but like it's not the cleanest, but for what we're doing right now, I think it works really well. So I'll kind of give you a quick rundown of what I've done. So I extended out this intro. So in the original song, you can hear like it starts right away, like the vocals are right there. In my version, I thought it'd be really fun to kind of do like a drawn out intro, because I was thinking about like DJing with this song, right? A lot of DJs like intros where you have some room to work with, because then you can mix songs together and it flows pretty seamlessly. So in this version, I took out the vocals. I have the instruments, the bass, and the drums going. Also put these background kind of bird sounds in here. And then I have it kind of build up here. So it repeats. And then we've got a build. And then what I did, it's a very simple build. And then I added my own kind of piano riff on this because I thought of a cool piano riff for it. So. Okay, so before we get into the drop, I'll kind of walk through what I did here. So, like I said, we've got this kind of like build-up thing. I'll kind of solo these so you can hear them. Nothing too crazy. It's literally just like this little cymbal. There's this weird little kind of riser thing. This like cool little drum thing. This is from Demo Tapes, and I think this might also be from Demo Tapes, who's the artist who did the song. He does some sample packs that I use quite a bit. And then just this kind of like white noise hit. For the piano riff, it's a little, like, it could be a little more fluid. I need to mess with some of the timings of it. But I thought it would be really cool, especially since we have this intro here that kind of has all of these main elements, to have this kind of build-up happen and then have it go into like a really subdued version of the track. So I did this volume automation here on the bass, and you can see like the volume is at 0 here, and then it kind of curves up, and then by the time it hits just about the end of this 8-bar phrase, it's at full volume again, which is perfect because then you go into the second half of the verse, right? So you really are hit with this kind of instrumental thing, which is kind of ambient. It's got these fun, like really like ethereal, atmospheric vibes to it, and then you've got the vocals, which they just like. Again, part of the reason I love this song is everything meshes so well. Like these vocals are very present, but they are like whimsical almost in like they're very straightforward lyrically, but like when you think about the implications of it, it's very kind of like magical, romantic, whimsical, which works really well with the instrumentals. And so I thought it'd be really fun. If you've listened to my music before, which I know the two of you in the chat have, I use a lot of piano, and for me personally, pianos tend to be a bit more of that like romantic, whimsical kind of nature, which is part of the reason why I use it a lot, because I want the Skycap project to be kind of in that realm. Like I want people to listen to my music and be inspired by the real world, but I also want it to have a tinge of this like escapism almost in a interesting way. It's kind of a weird way to think of it, but for me the piano's that like it's grounding, but it's also like whimsical and magical and fun. So I thought it would be perfect to do like a really nice piano thing. Like in a way, a lot of the way that I write my piano lines is like, imagine doing something meaningful to this. And I mean, obviously, with the instrumentals, it's going to work way better, but... like, this feels like a nice memory on a spring day, or like watching your friend get married, like something like that. And that's like really just the heart of, I mean, again, a lot of the Skycap project, I mean, to be quite literally honest with you guys, a lot of it was born out of me getting married myself. So, but when you pair it with these vocals, it's just perfect. Okay, so now we're getting into the part of the song that I haven't really done much with, and that's part of the reason why I'm doing this right now. So, anyways, like I showed you before, the drop that they have is really interesting. So it really just goes into this like drum and bass breakdown, and then you've got these kind of vocal chops popping, which is fun. Like, again, I think it's really creative. I think it's a really cool decision that they made. But what I want is I want this. Like, it sounds so big. It sounds so big and dancey that I want it to hit and to keep that energy. And they kind of do it later on in the song. But this is like kind of a fake drop to go back to that other one. So I kind of want this energy here. So I'm going to kind of mimic what they did and see if I can't do it myself. So what we have right now is we got a kick drum, we got this drum loop, which I think is really dancey. We have this thing, which might be a little hard to hear because I've got the volume turned down pretty low on it. It's just this weird atmospheric thing. It's kind of jittery and fun, but I thought it would be like a good filler for the song. And then we have, does that have anything? We have this pad thing, that is eating up a lot of my CPU. So maybe I'll export that. Let's do that right now while I'm talking, and then that way it'll be done here in a second. Cut remainder. Start. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of the song. So yeah, the idea is like we're taking a song that I really like and we're turning it into this like really good tool to be used in like a potential DJ set or something, is kind of the way that I'm trying to approach it, while also throwing a little bit of Skycap spice into it. So yeah, it's kind of a fun way to like view things. It's not like a full-on remix. Like if I was gonna remix this, I would kind of strip everything back. I'd keep the vocals. I might keep some of the instruments, but I would probably do something entirely different. Maybe even switch the genre up or something. But it's like, it's really just adding like little sprinkles of things that I like on top of a song that I think is already incredible. So it's really fun to be able to do this kind of stuff, because it allows you to be creative in ways that you're not typically creative, at least for me, because I do all of my stuff by myself, right? So, you know, I'm not typically working with other people, so I kind of get to see how somebody else made this song and then kind of pick it apart and then rebuild it with some of the things that I like. So unfortunately, I don't think I can do anything while this is rendering, but that's okay. How are you guys doing? What's new? Anything fun? Anything interesting? Washington is, since we had daylight savings time on Sunday, things are getting dark here really early. Like it's 5:15 and it is just about entirely dark outside, which is like my least favorite time of year. We get this from like the entirety of daylight savings. But on the flip side, I do like that it's lighter earlier. So, oh, felt ornaments for Christmas. That's a fun one. I like that. Me and April have started doing this thing where every time we go on a vacation, we try to find something that could be used as an ornament. So that's been really fun. We now have some from, well, we went to Toronto last year, so we got like a little Canadian flag on we got a keychain, which I think worked actually pretty well. So we'll just have to put some string around it or something. Oh, that's why I was like, why is this so... There we go. Does pad 1 have anything on it? It does not. Perfect. Okay, so... Yeah, so we have one from Toronto, and then we've got one from Japan, because we went to Japan this year. I'm trying to think. I think we got one in Croatia as well on our honeymoon. And I don't know if we have any others. We might have one or two from like around Washington when we've gone on like smaller, more local trips. But mostly like any big trips we've been doing it, and then like our anniversaries especially. So that's been kind of fun. Okay, I'll turn this up so you can hear it a little better. But I just thought it would be a nice addition to the ambience going on here. So anyways, that's kind of what we got for the most part. I was messing around with this last night a little bit. So what I realized, so I was really trying to figure out, because like I said, I really like this build and it's got a lot of energy. So I was like, okay, well, we can isolate these instruments here. And it's like, what's going on? You know, when I listen to this whole thing, like, there's just some really nice, like, it sounds so full and like vibrant. And I was like, how do I recreate that sound, but then add some energy to it? A lot of the energy is going to come from the drums and the bass, right? So that's something that we can worry about later. And we actually already even have a lot of that. Because that's pretty dancey, right? and that's adding in the original bass. But like, so we've got these weird atmospheres kind of going in the background, and then we've got these drums just like working overtime. So I was trying to listen to this and go like, what makes it the way that it is? And I think I figured it out. So I think because I'm gonna have this piano line in it as well, right? Like that's gonna definitely be in the drop. But then I hear it in the background, and you guys might be able to hear it. There's kind of like a melody going, and it's kind of like you can kind of hear it go up, and I'll kind of like mess around with my hands when I hear it, but it's this like really subtle kind of like background thing, and you don't really even notice it until like you really start to pay attention. But I think adding in some sort of counter melody to the piano line that I have and just putting it in the background here and like kind of playing it along, I think will add a ton to the drop. So it's almost like a bell, but I was messing around with this synthesizer thing. I think it's this one. So I think this will work for what we're trying to do. So I'm going to slap this on lead 2 here. And then what we're going to do, I've got our piano melody in here. And then we're going to have to like write, is this back to C? Okay. So I think I showed you this the other day. But I can transpose this to whatever key I want. So we're in B major right now. And then if I want to up an octave. Okay, let me turn the volume up on this, because it's pretty quiet. Okay. So we're going to just play this. So like something like, yeah, and like I agree with that comment. Like this thing's very whimsical. Like the whole song, I think that's a great word to describe it, because it's like I mean, you're talking about like chasing after somebody, right? And it's very like, I don't know, like I just realized my phone's been like chilling here the whole time. It feels almost like a rom-com, right? And you got to think of these stories that are like in that just like whimsical, fun fantasy, like again, like romance stories that you're like, like it ended so well, right? So for me, like I'm a huge anime fan, so I think of things like Howl's Moving Castle, right? Or any of the Makoto Shinkai movies like Your Name or Weathering with You or Suzume. Like I'm a huge fan of those. So those are the kinds of images that are in my head, like not necessarily musically, but like that's the picture that I get when I listen to this. Like I would climb any mountain just to find you. So it's like, okay, that's running through my head, and then it's like, okay, well, how do I manifest that musically? So I've got the piano line. So I kind of like this. So I'm gonna and I don't remember. Okay, so I think I did it like here. Sorry, my phone is being weird. I've been getting like spam calls all day, which is really strange. I don't know why, but yes, Studio Ghibli, 100%. Huge fan. Let's try it like that. Okay, that timing is not quite right. Okay, let's mute these. Actually, I'm going to mute all of it, and then we'll kind of see what... I didn't realize I was recording. It was... There we go. Okay, so they're a little bit further, I think. These ones are good. Sorry. I know that this might be a little frustrating, but this is just how I have to do things. Okay, so I think it was... like this. Okay, that's almost it. That's true. Okay, right here, I think. Okay, that's basically it. So we're gonna let this kind of stretch out a bit, and then what we're gonna do is I need to mess with this. So the decay time, the sustain, and the release. So we'll just do this and see what this sounds like. Okay, so this will be our counter melody for now. Okay, we have an ad break coming in about 20 seconds. Unfortunately, as always, it is a 3-minute long ad break. The reason for this is because if new people jump into the stream, I don't want them to get hit with the pre-roll ads right away. And this is the only workaround that I have for it. So as soon as the ad break starts, I will not be working on this. I might kind of like chat with whoever is a subscriber, but I won't work on the music, so don't worry. You won't miss anything. I apologize, but it's just kind of the way that I need to do things. So, but they always give me this countdown, and then I like sit there and wait for the thing to actually go, and then it doesn't go. So that's awesome. Awesome isn't really frustrating, but I also want to put this piano riff back in here. So if we're gonna look at this, I did make this lead, and this lead is also kind of like a counter melody. Maybe I'll play it after that, or maybe I'll play it now, and if the ad break starts, then... Okay, I apologize for all the popping and crackling. That's not an intended effect here. Let's see, that's on 43. Okay, well, there we go. I will export this while that's happening. Let's just do pattern. Okay. All right, back to this view. Treble Wolf, I think you're still in here. I don't know if anybody else is, but that's fine. Treble Wolf, you might be the only person watching right now. Which, if that's the case, unfortunate that the ad's going, but it is what it is. Okay. Let's see, what am I drinking today? Today I am drinking a ginger root beer Zevia. Big fan of these. For those of you, if there's anybody else watching, for those of you who don't know, I'm a type 1 diabetic. So Zevia is great because it's sweetened with stevia. So I can drink as many of these as I want and not have to worry about it. Because it's 0 carbs. So big fan. I mean, I know some people don't like the stevia taste. Stevia is generally healthier than sugar from what I understand too. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, they have a bunch of these. They're good. They have a vanilla root beer that I think is better than the ginger root beer, but the ginger root beer is pretty good. So that's my little drink plug for the day. I don't know why I started doing that. I think it's kind of fun though. Maybe it's because I'm always drinking stuff while I'm streaming. It's a little shout out to the drink companies. I drink a lot of things. Now that I think of it, a lot of times at work I'll have some sort of. I got into energy drinks quite a bit because I was doing construction for like a year and a half. And so I started drinking some like energy drinks because my buddy who was doing it with me was drinking them all the time. And then I started getting into like healthier energy drinks again because of the whole diabetic thing. And I was getting sick of like having to do a shot just to drink like a Red Bull. So I found a couple, and then I got really into like yerba mate and like teas and stuff. So that was pretty fun. And then, yeah, I kind of translated over to the like, oh, I'm home from work. Like, you know, I don't really need an energy drink generally, but it's like, okay, like I'll have a fun drink while I'm streaming or something. So yeah, drinks are just a good time. You know, I used to not understand the like Starbucks girls and stuff, but now I'm like, I totally get it. I'm hooked. But granted, you know, buying like a 6-pack or a 12-pack of these is cheaper than like 2 drinks at Starbucks. So there's that. But yeah, if you see these around and you're looking for something like low carb or just something different, like these are great. They're generally healthy for you. The ingredients in this one are carbonated water, natural flavors, and stevia leaf. That's literally it. So, you know, you look at a Coke and there's like 100 ingredients in it. So strawberry refreshers are good. I've really enjoyed recently the melon energy drinks at Starbucks. Those are pretty good. But yeah, most of the refreshers are great. The dragon fruit one's pretty fun too. Okay, so since the ad is finally done, here's this weird little thing that I worked on. Jay, welcome in, dude. You got 30 minutes of stream left, so perfect timing. So this is also like another atmospheric thing that I had done. So I don't know that I'll really keep it in. So yeah, I think I'll just mute that. Making me dark sky cap, dude. That's funny. Is it like a Twitch setting or is it like on your computer? That's hilarious. Well, while you're fixing that, I'll kind of play you what we're working on. So like a lot of the background of this is yeah, some of those HDR effects are like the contrast is jacked way up and then it looks super weird. But yeah, while you're fixing that, here's kind of what we're working on. A lot of this intro part is the original song. I kind of modified the like structure of it, and then I added kind of like a little build up here, and then there's some piano that comes in here that I added as well. And then we're just working on the drop right now, so. Okay, let's pitch this one up because I think it needs to be higher. And then I actually want something at the beginning of this. Let's see what that sounds like. Actually, I wonder what the first note of that piano thing is, because we could just copy that. G#7. Perfect. All right, and then we'll just throw that in. Hey, look at that. What was the issue? What was the culprit? Okay, so now we need some chords. And again, if we're looking back at what this thing is doing. We're gonna need something pretty interesting. Maybe this. Just throw these in here and see what happens. Oh, strange. Okay. Well, yeah, that would probably make me look pretty orange then. Just not ideal. Okay, so I hate that. Gotta be honest. This is abysmal. So let's do something a little more interesting. Orange is an understatement. That's funny. Let's try like this and just see what this sounds like. Oh gosh. I'll keep that in mind if I ever want to go for like a really dark, depressing, heavy dubstep. Okay, so we need to like, I'm trying to remember what I've done for like previous songs that are like really dancey. You know, cause like, and I mean, I could just like, yeah, seriously. Decrepit slums. That's a good one. Let's try this. Oh, whoops. Okay, what makes something dancey, you know? Like...
Just to find.
Okay, let's go back to that bass that we had before. There we go.
Just to find.
So maybe if I do something a little bit more, like I think I have this hard time sometimes where I think I need to subdue things when I actually need to make them like more aggressive. So we're going to try that. We're going to redo this. So let's take this and let's actually make it sound nice, right? So we'll throw an a reverb, an EQ, a filter, maybe a distortion. We'll turn the mix down quite a bit on that. Yeah, well, and that's like, I'm trying to avoid that a little bit, but I'm also trying to keep in some of the like dancey, energetic elements of that kind of 2010s music. Okay, so now what we can do, let's find like a more interesting kind of, throw some noise on it. And then we can throw, so Serum, I don't really like mess around a whole lot with Serum, but Serum's really cool because you can do some crazy things, right? So we can add unison. So hear how it's like kind of like distorted and stuff. So we've got that, and then, but the cool thing that we can do is we can take this LFO, which is a frequency oscillator, and then we can do it to the wavetable position. So when you look at this, if you turn this knob, see how it'll like shift the whole thing. So it's called a wavetable. So basically, this is like a sound over time, but it's taking like a snapshot of each, let's say, millisecond or second of that sound. And then I can use this part here to automate where along that wavetable it is. So as you watch, this knob will turn all the way to the top when it gets to the top here, and then it'll go all the way back down. And this will like cycle through from here all the way to the back and then all the way back. I don't know if it'll sound good, but that's what'll happen. And then we can change the rate. So you can kind of see it doing that with this triangle here. And then this, so it's like every bar, it goes through an up and back. So every half bar, it's hitting the end here and then half a bar back. That was a very what's the word I'm looking for? Thematically appropriate joke, I guess. Very relevant joke. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Okay, now let's just see what this sounds like. I'm actually gonna on synth 2, so it's got an LFO on it as well. I can't remember exactly. I think it stands for low frequency oscillator. It stands for something frequency oscillator. Basically, anytime you see LFO, so like LFO tool here, which I use quite a bit, it's literally, it affects the timing and then something else. So it takes whatever timing you have in your song. So like in this case, when we run this back here, you'll see on LFO tool here. So see how you can see the snippets of the song kind of going through, and then basically what it's doing is every quarter bar, it's dropping the volume. So this blue outlines the volume, so it's going to drop it down at the start of every quarter bar. Now, part of the reason I do that is because we have these kick drums going. So these are dictating our dance rhythm. And so if you kind of drop the volume out every time the kick drum comes through, then you're going to be like, oh, it's a little dancier because the kick drum's hitting, right? So let's just go crazy. We'll do my favorite thermal. Okay, so maybe we take these chords. I'm just going to delete this because we're not even using it. So maybe we take these. Let's drop them back down, but then let's take, let's say like these bottom notes. So like D, this one's a G sharp, D, and then F sharp. And then it'll be the same D. This one's G sharp. Yeah, it kind of did. Okay, I think that sounded all right. I mean, I don't love it, and I think I'm going to need to do like a lot more deconstruction on like how to make something sound just like great. Why does this sound off? Oh, I think I know why. Okay, here we go. Let's grab this. Do this, but then there we go. And then this first one can just extend out there. Boom. Good to go. So the really cool thing with Serum, and again, this is all in that wavetable stuff. In theory, so like if I was to, you can take any sound and turn it into a wavetable like this. So if I took a sound of me like saying hello, I could take that and drop it into Serum here, in here, and it would turn it into a wavetable. And then if you got the timing right with the LFO here, this, you could actually just have me play out like me saying hello through this just by like timing this correctly. Now, you also could just make it into some crazy synthesizer, which is really cool too. But that's the really powerful thing about this synthesizer that I just haven't really delved into too much. But yeah, no, I agree. It does kind of sound like a flute. It just got me thinking where it's like, oh, you can actually recreate real flute sounds in here, which is crazy. See, like, I need this just to be just jumpier, you know? Like, how do I make this hype is my question. This is the fun of making music. Okay, let's see if we can pull up, how much time we got? 7:50? Okay, let's just keep messing around with it. I think what will end up happening is I'll probably end up finishing this off stream and putting it out at some point. But I'll give you kind of my thought process of what I'm really trying to accomplish. So like I said, I really want this dancey. I want this upbeat. I want this like really huge. And they kind of do this here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to like take that, and I think that might be in here. So obviously, like, you got the drums are doing the same thing. The bass is like doing that crazy thing. This is what I'm really curious about. Yeah, I just... Maybe there's something about the way that this all like works together. Throw this down here. I want this. What? No, it's the same. I think what I need to learn, and this is like again, like I just love making stuff all the time, and the more that I make stuff, the more that I run into this, and it like, it used to be something that just frustrated me to no end, and I think either I've learned to fall in love with it, or maybe I'm just at a point where it's like, you know what, like, just figure it out. But I keep finding myself being like not good at certain parts of music production, and it makes me excited because I'm like, oh, I get to learn how to do this. And yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like a madman for saying that. But if I understand it right, there's a certain relationship between the bass and the drums in a club track. And if you can figure out how to execute on those two things coexisting to create this just absolute masterpiece of music dynamics, then you can just make a great club track. And I think there's something specifically about, like, because I muted it earlier, right? But, well, where is it now? It's this. Like, that's so good. And then you add this. I mean, that's just incredible, right? Like, let me just take this too, because maybe I just need to do this. see what this sounds like. Yeah, see, that's not quite the vibe either, right? So that's kind of the fun thing, again, about this is it's like, oh, okay. But maybe we do like this. But then also maybe we just grab this back. Well, yeah, and so it's one of those things where, like, I know that that's a joke, right? That like my not good is like somebody else's like really good, right? But that's like the fun thing about it is like every time I'm starting to think that I'm getting good at something, I'm like, oh wait, actually, there's somebody out there who is like so much better at this than I am, and I've gotten to a point where that's exciting. It's not like a deterrent at all. I'm like, oh man, somebody is doing it better. Let me see if I can get to that level, right? And I mean, it's really cool, right? So you got this guy Demo Tapes who made this original song, and you know, he's starting to get big. He posts a lot on TikTok and stuff. You might see his stuff at some point, but he's by no means like a Daft Punk or like a Deadmau5 or a Skrillex, right? So when you start to think about like, okay, here's this guy Demo Tapes. He's at a certain level of success, right? I believe he's a full-time musician. He's done like shows and stuff, which is really cool. But you know, he's kind of here, and then there's like an echelon of like electronic artists that's like here, right? And they're like still not at that Skrillex, Deadmau5, whatever level, right? And then there's like an echelon of artists that I would say is like that, right? So he's maybe like, I'd say like 2 or 3 tiers kind of below that. And those guys are just unbelievably good at this stuff. And those are the guys that I'm like, yeah, maybe that might make me like a little depressed when I think about just how good they are at making music and how bad I am. But when you remember that there's a whole like group of people in the middle there, and that it's like, oh, actually I could be in that group. Like I could be, you know, maybe not one of the top 1% of music producers, but maybe I could be in the top 10, you know? And really for me, like a lot of this stuff, I think electronic music is like kind of tricky for me because I will 100% always prefer to write a beautiful melody, something that like if you guys told me that this melody, like if I wrote a song with this melody and that melody changed your life, or you were like, man, that melody stuck in my head, and now every time I am snowboarding with my friends or every time I'm on a road trip, like this is what I think of, and it is like meaningful to me. That matters way more to me than like, oh yeah, my kick and my snare and my bass drum or in my bass line are all like working in tandem together and my mix is really good. Like I just care way more about the impact of music than the like the mixing and the science side behind it. But that's not to say that I can't get better at all of it, right? So at some point, again, to go back to this whole thing, like I want to make this sound a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller. I'm not quite sure how to do that. So I think it's going to be something to do with these chords. And I will probably just need to like throw some huge super saw on here or something. I think I might have something. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let's try this. This might sound insane. So we're going to turn this down a little bit. Okay. Well, let's just see what that does. Was this one on 37? Okay, I'll put this on 38. And then we'll do like a LFO on this too. Again. Oh, and we'll do a flange, because I really like the flange. Maybe I do a phaser. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna crank the volume on this. I am gonna actually bump it back up an octave. I wonder if this... Okay, let's bounce this out to audio. This is probably going to be the last thing that I do today. Render, let's do the full song, whatever. Okay. Alright, yeah, this will take a minute, but I will have to go here in a minute anyways. Missed call on silent mode. I don't care. Alright, you guys have any fun plans for the weekend? I think I have nothing going on, which is actually super nice. Tomorrow's Friday, which is a beautiful thing. Part of the reason why I love streaming on Thursdays is because I can go, tomorrow's Friday, which is great. Too bad. Can I play? No, I can't. Render minimized. Oh, shoot. Okay. That's not what I wanted to do. Alright, let's go back. You have a family party. Oh, that'll be fun. Sleeping, having a nap, taking a siesta. Lots of sleep. That's funny. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm hoping it's nice out here this weekend. I actually have no idea what the temperature is supposed to be. Let's see. That is not where I'm at. Okay, it is currently 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's surprisingly warm. Oh, no, it's supposed to rain. Yeah, it's supposed to rain for the rest of time, starting on Saturday. That's a bummer. Today was one of those days, and this doesn't happen super often, but for some reason this year it's happened quite a bit, which is great. But Seattle typically goes through the transition from like summer to like deep fall very quickly, I feel like. And this year it hasn't been nearly as rainy as it usually is, which is good because I really don't like the rain that much. But today was one of those days where you wake up and it's like cold. It's probably like 40 degrees Fahrenheit outside. But it was sunny. And it's just crystal clear. And you got that sun. You know, it's like 8 o'clock, 7:30. The sun's like rising. It's starting to shine through the trees. The trees are like multicolored, but then you have some like evergreens. So like, I am fortunate enough. Maybe here, I'll pull this up. You guys can kind of see. You guys get to see what I get to see. So, I don't know why this map has like a... Okay, let me like not friggin' dox myself here. That is not at all what I wanted. Where the heck am I? Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. It put me in South Dakota for some reason. Okay, so the geography of Seattle, and I don't know why I'm talking about this on stream right now. The geography of Seattle is fascinating. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Seattle is kind of separated into two distinct sides. So, like, Seattle itself is over here, right? You got Space Needle right here. I don't know. It might be a little hard to see this, but Space Needle right here. I live on the east side over here. So, and I work, like, down in this area. So, I take this I-90 here. So, I cross this massive lake. But it's really cool because in the winter, in the mornings, right? So, the sun rises over here. So when I'm driving to work along this nice bridge, this part, and maybe I can I do, where's the little dude? There's the little dude. Here we go. Maybe we can pop him down here. Did I get it right? So when you're driving, nope, that is just somebody's house. Also, just for reference, like Bill Gates lives like right in here somewhere, I think. Oh, no, he's right in here. So, like, stupid nice houses in here. Hey, Ola, welcome in. Unfortunately, you are joining right as I'm about to end my stream. But, good news for you, I stream every Thursday from about 5 to 6. So, if you're interested in watching somebody make music live on stream, this is the place to be. Why does it keep doing it? I need it to be on the road. Can I put you here? There we go. Okay, so this is the freeway that I drive on. Now it's really cool because it like comes down like a little hill almost onto this. And then I get to look, so like Seattle's over here. And this in the mornings, all right? So it's like sun's rising and it's just crystal clear. And you can look across and you can see like the north side of Seattle. And you can look down here, and usually, like, if it's a really nice day out, Mount Rainier's, like, right here, which is just incredible. And you'll get, like, right now especially, so all of these trees in here, it's a mixed bag of evergreens and deciduous trees. So it's, like, yellows and reds and golds and greens and, like, everything. It's so cool. It's such a cool drive. I hate having to drive into work, but it's... You know, if that's the drive I have, it's not bad. Okay, let's finish this up. So I'm going to normalize this. We're going to slap it down here. Is this where I had it? Yeah, that is where I had it. So we'll drop it here. And then synth 4 might have to go down a bit. Oh, that's...
Just to find.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's all poppy and crackly. Oh, wait, that's because these are still active. There we go. Wait, what stopped? Oh, this stopped. Yeah, see, I might drop this down an octave later. Actually, I guess I could try and do it now. I think it's 10. I'd have to retime it. I don't know why that's not working. Yeah, I don't love that. So yeah, anyways, I mean, I know my brain's kind of been all over the place with this stream, but I think we made some progress. So that's good. But But yeah, basically the idea is like I really want to figure out how to make this like really full and big and dancey and impactful. And I know I've done that with some of my other songs. I just have to kind of go back and relook at like some of the tricks and stuff that I did for those. Figure out how I made those big and fun and dancey and whatever. So, and then once I do that, then I think the idea is like fill this out and then we'll kind of just repeat and do the same thing for the second section and just make it like a nice big fun dance track. But I think for now, I'll probably leave this in here. Maybe I EQ out because this has some annoying things. Sorry, I swear I'm going to be done like after this. And then we add some reverb onto it. And let's just do this one. Don Gunn, amazing for vocal. Okay. It's getting there. I think it's really good.
Just to find.
I think some of it's the drums too. We're gonna have to do a lot of stuff for the drums. You know, I mean, I know I've been focusing most of my time on this stuff. This part's really fun too. Who knows? Maybe I leave this, but anyways, thanks guys for hopping in here. Another fun stream. We're gonna call it there. So I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but the next couple weeks are gonna be crazy. Basically, what's gonna happen next week, I'm getting a really cool piece of hardware that I want to play with on stream, and it'll be this view probably almost the entire stream, which is going to be really cool because I should hopefully be able to make music on the device, route it through my audio, and you guys can hear everything I'm doing. It won't even be computer related at all. It'll just be me messing around and making some stuff. The week after that, I'll start working on an original song that I will only make on stream, and I will hope to make it in like a month and a half and finish it up right before the new year. So that way January comes, then I'll have probably another song that I can work on for the next like 3 months or so. So the idea is like every week I'll do like a new part of whatever song I'm working on. So it'll be like 1 week we'll try drums and we'll just hyper focus in on that and really try and get something fun and cool. You know, maybe the next week is like a bass line, maybe the next week is melody, whatever, right? So it's like that way I can spend like an hour and just focus in on one part of a song, and then it'll be almost a little episodic. So each week you guys come back, it'll be like another cool, fun part of whatever I'm working on. So with that being said, next week should be kind of a fun, unique stream. The week after that, we'll start into that song thing. The week after that, we have Thanksgiving here in America, so I'm not going to be streaming for that, but I will stream that week, probably on Monday. So, but as always, that will be up on my Instagram. I'll throw it back in the chat for anybody who's interested, who hasn't followed, who hasn't looked at stuff. I always update my Instagram with all the Twitch stuff. So yeah, thank you guys so much for jumping in here. I always love doing this for you. I hope you guys have a great weekend, great Friday, and I will see you all next time. And we'll leave with this track from my most recent EP. It's called Pulse. Have a good one. See you guys.